Alright, so here we have the dime bolt just plugged in straight into an amp here, and like the electronics work. Like, those all check out. Now this is on a clean channel though, but when you add some distortion, and obviously this guitar is kind of built for metal and, you know, playing with distortion, that's where the issues come up. So I'm going to show you right now. Now I'm going to take my hand off the strings. And like, you can hear there's like some grounding stuff going on there. Now I'm going to roll the bridge volume pot all the way down. There's a hum. That shouldn't be happening. There should be no signal coming through because the volume is off. And there's this. That guitar is wired incorrectly. Now watch this. Go to the neck pickup. Volume all the way down. Technically the whole guitar is off, but then there is actually a ground hum coming from somewhere in this guitar here. This is how all these guitars come from the factory. They just have a giant grounding issue. Yeah, and for what these guitars are selling for right now, it might be tough for some people to spend the money that these things are kind of commanding, and you have this that you just have to deal with. And I've been talking to Tommy, who plays guitar in Blondie, and Grady Champion, like Dimebag's guitar tech, is Tommy's guitar tech. And from what Grady told Tommy, who then told me, is that every guitar that came from Washburn to Dimebag basically had electronic issues like right from the factory. So obviously you can fix that with just like throwing a noise gate into your signal chain, then of course all of your issues related to noise and ground issues, they're going to be fixed. And that's cool, and that's what Dimebag and Grady did for the most part. I do want to say Grady also modified a lot of Dimebag's guitars to actually get rid of like this noise and actually have the guitar totally silent when you are not playing the guitar, like especially when the volume knobs are down. Because that's how a guitar should come from the factory. And I don't know really what happened with these guitars and like how they got wired up incorrectly, because this schematic here, 2 volumes, 1 tone, and 2 humbuckers with like nothing else going on, very simple. So not too sure. It seems like maybe there's some extra wires that are missing from the circuit for some reason. And now what some people might be thinking is like, well, Eric, why don't you just go and add a couple ground wires? The thing is, Grady did that, and that involved him actually drilling into the guitar. I'm not doing that. This is a collector's piece, and pretty well every Dimebag guitar on earth right now is more or less a collector's piece, and especially a lot of these like USA Washburns, like these are collector's guitars, and I'm not going to go and start drilling into like these kinds of guitars here, you know, just to get them playable. Like, I'm just going to throw a noise gate on and call it a day, you know what I mean? Like, this is a very special piece of gear. Last thing like a potential new buyer wants to walk into is like, oh, I actually hacked away at parts of the guitar just to kind of make it work. Like, that's not original at the end of the day. Once you start getting into drilling and like adding extra wires and things like that, and like talking about like a guitar like this, like that's just something that we stay away from. That's just not what we're gonna do here. So if you are looking to buy a Washburn USA Dime guitar, like a good chunk of them, if not pretty well all of them, like just don't come wired correctly from the factory. So keep that in mind, and if that is a big make or break for you, like unfortunately that's just how it is. But if you do want these guitars and you do want to get one of these guitars, like this is just how they come, so you just might have to deal with it.